FM.
We got the flavor. You want music?
Then get music right now on Kings
88.5 FM.
Kings 88.5.
Kings 88.5 FM.
We got the flavor.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
First at 5:30, however, he is an internationally known preacher based here in Dallas. This morning, during a 9 a.m. Sunday service, Bishop T.D. Jakes of the Potter's House suffered a health incident during a morning prayer. The whole thing caught on camera as that morning service was being streamed around the world.
On the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Through our time together, I held steadfast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. Through our time together, I held steadfast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. Through our time together, I held steadfast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. Through our time together, I held steadfast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. Through our time together, I held steadfast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. As you are aware, Liberia, for the first time in over 7 decades, experienced a peaceful transition of power when I assumed the presidency in 2018. Tomorrow, we will witness another historic moment as I hand over the reign of government to my successor, President-elect Joseph Boakai, making yet another significant milestone in our democratic journey. I am immensely proud that during my tenure, Liberia remained at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbor. Our armed forces, the force of good, will never turn against our own people, and external actions were confined to international peacekeeping mission under the United Nations. This peace, sustained by our own domestic resources, is a testament to the maturity and strength of our nation. We protected the inalienable rights of every Liberian citizen as enshrined in our Constitution. Freedom of speech, assembly, and expression were not only preserved, but celebrated. There were no political prisoners or prisoners of conscience during my entire term, a testament to the development of strong democratic institutions that are now not only hailed as competent and professional, but as trusted and credible. Liberia is now regarded as a pillar of democracy in West Africa and a shining example to the world. This was only made possible through our various collaborative efforts. I want to thank all Liberians, regardless of your political affiliation, for staying the course and helping build a stronger and more vibrant nation. We are leaving behind a better economy than we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Boakai will inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve position than was handed me in 2018. I inherited 94,999,000 United States dollars in net international reserves. And I am handing over to the next administration a net international reserve position of 222,700,000 United States dollars. This is 136% increase in the net international reserve position. The total cash balance in the government's consolidated account is United States $40,044,365.90. In 2018, my government inherited a consolidated cash position of $7 million United States dollars. The next administration thus has more resources to deal with emergency macroeconomic challenges than my administration had at its disposal in 2018.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
And we can help but thank God Almighty. It would have been a real mourning situation for the whole world. We thank God Almighty that His Holy Spirit hovers TD Jakes and the Porter House. We can help but bless God. He walks beyond our widest imagination. No one serves God with honesty, sincerity, and dedication. He allows the odd to happen to you. We thank Him that He preserved TD Jakes live and everybody at the Porter's house. But we have something we can pick up from there. We talk about that. So this is how the play looks like for this afternoon. My name is Sam Andrews. Welcome. The acknowledgement. Thank you all for following wherever you are around the world. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. Mary Tooley, you are on from New Georgia Estate. And you said thanks for the show. Thanks for coming on, Mary Tooley. Archie Brown, you are on from Voca Mission. Abdullahi Dolly, you've come on from Zazaz City, Lofa County. Yasa Sharif didn't say where you're following from, but it's good to have you on. Thank you very much. Philip B. Blamo, you are on from Campley City, Nimba County. CDC, Papi Success Keita for life. As usual, Dupont Raw. Thank you for coming on. Francis M. Sharif, you are following from where you didn't say, but you said you are on you are watching, okay, from Keke. Keke, I know what you mean, Keke. Probably from, you are in the Keke. Okay, that's good, not bad. Solo Wat Corsia from Gardnersville, your comfort zone, New Georgia Estate. As usual, you were asked for my weekend. It was fine. God hovered, and He's still hovering as He hovers everybody. And I hope you had a wonderful time with His covering too. Willem D. Tue, you've come on from Congo Town, RC Lawson Community. Clady Allison, you are following from your end, you said. Good to have you on, Clady Allison. Cyrus Day, your last name is spelled D-A-Y-E, and is the opposite or the reverse of Day. That's good. And you are following from Badnuttsville, Ben and Stop. McKimmon D. Harris, you've come on from Boston, Massachusetts, the United States of America. J. Reginald Sally from Robertsport, Grand Cape Man County. My dear Southeastern sister, Dwight Tay, good to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Hope that you are faring well from your end. Abu Kaba, you are on from Boys Town, Marshall Highway, you say. Brilila Warren, you are on from Delaware, the United States of America. Bly Saturday, how Bly from Pipeline, Painesville, Supermarket Community. Patrick Collier from Indianapolis. Harris Sadie from Papaco Community, Badnuttsville Junction area. Tor Zedru, Grand Jita County. Harry Boy Johnson from Caldwell. And Sam Diamond. Good afternoon. Orlando Yenka, New Jersey. Joseph Baba, that's Babu, Joseph Babu from Maryland, the United States of America. Lance Eastman, Minnesota. Charles D. Gray, Coffee Farm, Caldwell. Alex Kulu from Nimba. Pauline Zion, Minnesota. Simeon Fokba from where Government Farm, Marshall. Okay. and Chinian, Joazon from Badnersville, Bend, and Stub. Jackson Pony, you say you are following as usual from your intellectual center, block 13, yeah, Iron Patrick, that's District 13. Good to have you on, and your chairman, Rico, or Romancio Kenneball, as he is widely known. Sylvester B. Taylor from Bar Jenkintown, Bon County, Michelle Deer, Gabriel Mann from Broadville. Thank you so much. And the list, the names are just flowing down and down and down. We've got a couple of things to talk about. We'll recognize you. Don't worry. It's good that you come on, you spice of the show. We are inspired by your presence. We've got a couple of things to talk about. No better place to start, given where the country is, given what is unfolding, the state of disorderliness, insecurity, instability, war, disregard for the rule of law, with a reign of and by Nebuchadnezzar and Joseph Yemamboakai. Everyone is a stakeholder. Everybody is a stakeholder, down to the young boy. Everyone is a stakeholder. Stakeholder in a political context simply means that you have a say and you have the right to protect. You can preserve, you can suggest, you can guide. You have everything to keep your country stable. You have the right to say, you have the right to alter the government. You have the right to do any and everything given you by the Constitution. So the preservation of Liberia's peace lies with all of the stakeholders. Everybody don't understand stakeholders to mean only the politicians. No, we every day behind the microphone, we are stakeholders. We are protectors of Liberia. The politicians, the medical people, the military people, the business people, everybody is a stakeholder because everybody is a citizen covered by the laws of the country and empowered by the very law to suggest to the government, to alter, to do a lot more. Therefore, it is not the right. It is not a private thing. It is not a personal property. A country is managed by a certain group of people called elected officials with the banner government. Those people are the ones who are in power by the people from the ballot box to move in and to move by casting their ballot score vote. They are responsible to make sure that everything is done for the good of the country, ranging from development, the rule of law, free speech, free assembly, and on we can go on naming. They have the responsibility. The people gave them the power through election. And they are under obligation not to do things according to what they want, but what the law says. Anything to the contrary, it leads to instability. Instability comes when one person is exerting power over the other or a group of people, when those group of people know that it is right, but they feel that because they have the power, so they impose on those people whom they are leading. Then emotion sets in. The next thing after emotion is anger, vexation, and then followed by cutting. Cutting are those remarks that people use descriptively. And if it gets so serious, if the government of the day is insistent on not to listen or is adamant, then the stakeholders now will start to issue a warning. No government is above the law. No president is above the law. Everyone is guided by the law. The law is the strongest. The Lord is the highest. The Lord is the one that covers, guides, protects, defends everybody in every sphere, shape, or form. What is unfolding in the country has plunged the country into crisis, into chaos, instability, insecurity. And the stakeholders are talking, but few of the stakeholders are raising their voices. The others, they are talking, but they are talking faintly. They are talking pretendingly because they are between the opposition and the sympathy of government. So they don't want to be seen or heard as being very critical of the government so that they will not be called and say, you're saying this of us, you know, we are this and all of this. So they will just say something faintly and then they're off. But amongst those who are raising their voices is the leading opposition leader, the most popular person in Liberia, the most influential person in Liberia, the one who has so much command, who has the people at his command, the one who commands 80 to 85 or more than that of the people in this country. On Sunday, he talked to his pulpit or God's pulpit with the Bible. The Bible is a leadership model. The Bible is everything that we are on earth. The Bible is political, economic, social, religious, legal, everything. Anything legal, the rule of law came from the Bible. Every other discipline, everything evolved from the Bible. Nothing, no profession whatsoever, to say it that way, evolved from imagination. If anything ever evolved from imagination, then God does not exist, or he wasn't existing. But he wasn't created by anybody. He evolved. He was begotten, not made. So he brought everything into being. So the former president talked to God's pulpit, because the pulpit faces the masses. Just like we are talking to the masses right now, tens of thousands of people in this country and out of this country are listening to me. The pulpit has the masses before it. The radio station has the masses before it. And that is why when the pastors are not talking, then you see that the people, the pastors, are accomplices. So he talked to God's pulpit with the masses before him and moving all around the world by technology. He talked about the former president hijacking a democracy, but that is not my emphasis. Other people talk about that, and I listen to almost everybody. They will not touch on the main thing. And I say, okay, good. Because that's how we do in broadcasts. You want to listen to how the issue is being analyzed from one angle, they're taking it from, and then when it is your turn, you know what angle to take it from. So almost everybody will hang on that expression, hijack democracy. Boubacar has hijacked the democracy of the country, and it goes with a number of explanations in there. But there is something the former president, the most popular person, the most influential, the man who wields so much power, control, influence over the people of this country. He spoke in that manner. Many did not pick it up. Yeah, what he said, and I thought to share it with you. And I hope the president will take heed if he hasn't. And the rest of the ministers, you like it or not, only a word or two from President Weah, former President Weah, this whole place is upside down. Yeah, what he sent out to the current president. He said, Boubacar, a hint or a wise is quite sufficient. And he said that 2 times. You'll go back to the clip. To go back to that sermon, he said it 2 times. Now, it's not just an expression, but you have to look at the expression from the person it came from and it's still coming from. You want to know who the person is, the influence of the person, the popularity of the person, the power of the person, the authority of the person. It is not just a statement, but a statement coming from the most influential opposition leader in the country. And that line, if I were Boubacar, I would start looking at several options to mend fences by starting a dialogue with the former president on how to move forward to keep this country as the way he kept it. Did you listen? The first clip or the second bite I played, he said he ran this country on 3 significant pillars. And the last one, he said, the rule of law. So he cautioned, and I consider that a last warning. When an opposition leader, especially the most popular, most influential, most charismatic opposition leader speaks that way, it is not to overlook. He said it 2 times. He said, Boubacar, a hint or a wise is quite sufficient. And you know what that means in that context? That we have had enough from your government. We have had enough from your administration. We have seen awful things happening. We have seen blatant disregard. We have seen how obstinate and recalcitrant you are to listen to wisdom. Therefore, the next time, or if this thing continues, we will take action in accordance with the law. And I don't think Boubacar is ready for that because of his age, his health. Being a president of a country is not a small thing. It's not like running one room, one office. You can manage. It's difficult to manage even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 persons. Let's talk about 5.4 million people. When former President Sirleaf left the presidency, what did she say? She said she took a deep breath, a sign of relief, and that spirit of burden left her. She felt light. She soon realized that truly she is a human being. In essence, she was saying, I did not know that how this presidency is so burdensome, so frustrating, so tempting, that it takes a person with a strong spirit to stay on those years. And Boubacar can make it because Boubacar has aged. Boubacar has declined mentally. So he don't want to go through these kinds of rigorous situations. So as the leader, as the president, you have to stop doing those things that will not allow the people to use the alternative method. And I think that's what the former president will warn him when he said, Boubacar, a hint or a wise is quite sufficient. Meaning, you are a wise person. We're not doubting your mentor. you are a listening person. We're not doubting it. You are the leader. We're not doubting it. You have full control over everything in the country. We're not doubting it. But if you think that it is your personal property and you do according to what you want, we will prove to you in accordance with the law that we are the citizens of this country. And the former president, as I watched him deliver that sermon and came to that line, he couldn't have said it any better, swift, and straight to the point with every seriousness. Enough is enough. It cannot be like Boakar's farm. It's not his personal property. You cannot flout the laws, ignore people's requests or appeal. You get people talking all over the place. You have lawyers, they tire talking, admitting disrespect of the law and all of those things. You have everybody just talking all over the place, and unity party people just justifying what a dull, inept government. Because the same thing you condemn of the other people, that they were wrong, yet you're doing it even 3 times than you condemn. So the former president won the current president. And Boaka, take heed. The signs are on the world. We don't need Nebuchadnezzar to come to you, not Nebuchadnezzar, but Daniel to come to you. The signs are on the wall. You have to be very careful. This place is not your personal palace. You have to stop doing what you are doing. It's too early. You don't even complete 1 year. Everything is just going haywire. When people say you're not in control, you are being told to and fro. You are being used. You are they're using you as a comedian, and then your people get vexed because that's what is happening. That's what is happening. You're agitating the people. You're giving the people every reason to rise up. And then you say they don't want any problem in this country. How empty that will sound. You don't want problem, but you're creating problem. A government doesn't want any problem so that investors will feel free to come to the country. Ironically, the very government creates the problem and expect that the citizen will do nothing. How empty is that mentally? So he was warned. I like that position the former president took. He warned Boaka. A hint to a wise is quite sufficient 2 times. In essence, he told Boaka, this is the last. If you can listen and this thing continues, you will see and feel the consequences of the people democratically. Oh, yes. He couldn't have put it any better. Because it's too much now. So that warning to Boaka, he has to bury it in his head. He has to stick it in the head. I know nobody wants any awful situation to occur in this country. We've had enough, yes, but equally, we will not use that now, or the government will not use that to infringe on the people's right to disregard the people, to trample upon them, and few persons will prevail against the majority. No. If that happens, then the people will be constrained democratically. As much as we don't want anything awful in Liberia, but we have the democratic right under the Constitution to exhibit it as any citizen of this country as government people too, because the law covers everybody. So the former president will warn him that he has to be careful He has to be careful. Bwaka is not popular than we are. Just a word or two from we are. Forget it. And Bwaka cannot run this country in the absence of we are. Bwaka has all of his people around him. Listen, they do not have what it takes to maintain the peace, stability, and security of this country. Because in their very respective selves, they are nothing. They command no popularity. They command no influence. They have none of those. All of those things are what we see in we are. If we are just said, oh, we're getting out. Listen, this entire country, the entire country will get out. And Bwaka will be confused. And even if he put military people outside, he put armed police outside, it will do nothing because he doesn't want to shoot at anybody to damage his government. So everywhere around the world, you will need a person like George Weah to help you. You will mend fences with him. You will forge a good tie with him. And do you know that the former president and the current president can talk? Bwaka has never, since he ascended to the presidency, to ever muster that courage with humility to call and talk with the former president. He hasn't. He has no time. And when people are telling you how in all of the places that he worked, all the initiatives he had not been successful, it is because he has this mean spirit, this unforgiving spirit. He will not let go anything and reach out to the next person. The opposition leader is not under obligation to force reconciliation as the leader is under. Bwaka has the responsibility to force reconciliation, to do everything to bring the people together. It is not former President Weah. It's not the pro tem. It's not the speaker. It's not any one of those people. It's not us. Because he is the leader. He took the oath of office. He assumed every responsibility. So everything starts with him. Everything starts with him. By now, he should have a good relationship with former President Weah. Even his former boss, the relationship is not that cordial with between he and his former boss, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That's the kind of president we have. And that is how Nebuchadnezzar will behave. And no better description I could place on him than that. Nebuchadnezzar will insist that everybody bow to him. Nebuchadnezzar will feel that he doing nothing wrong, that everything he said was the final and everybody must accept it. And you see those characteristics in Joseph Yuma Boakai. Till now, he can reach out to anyone. The only reason he went to former President Sirleaf because of her birthday. Unlike other presidents that we've known around the world, they would take up time and just do a stroll to that former president's house and sit down and lecture for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes and leave. To cement that cordiality, that oneness, above all, former presidents. He has never, you tell me, from the very moment that President Weah turned over the presidency to Bwaka took the office, have you seen those two people together? We are in the 11th month. Bwaka took the office in January. From January to November, 11th month. Nowhere around the world, in 11 months, the former presidents, they can meet. Even if there are one or two times, they will meet. We have always cried to have former presidents. We've shown over the years our envy. When we see the United States talking about their former presidents, when we see former American presidents standing up, T4, when we see the French people and the Italians, we see the former prime ministers and presidents taking photos together over the years, we used to be so envious and say we don't have any former president. What kind of country we have? Whole day we're killing our own people. We can get no former president. God said, yes, all that you people are saying, it makes sense. I will allow Liberia to have former president. But not only that, you people should form a good relationship, a bond, a covenant bond. Today, we have that blessing. But the president is abusing that blessing. He has placed a dent on it. When Elijah saw 11 months, when Elijah saw we are in Waka together. Have you people ever heard that the current president took telephone and called the former president? Like we hear from other countries, America, that Joe Biden called up a former president, Donald Trump, to wish him this, to wish him that, or to talk certain issues over. And then we say we have democracy. Have you people heard that before? Have you people heard that executive mansion is saying that the current president called up the former president to express this, to say that? At least to see them in public. You know what it means for the country? You know how the country, the people, you'll see that love, you'll see that joy in them. You'll see, they will be overfilled when they see the two presidents or three presidents together. Now listen, go back to the inauguration. It wasn't former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that initiated that. It wasn't the current president that initiated that. It was the former president, George Weah, who, standing in the middle between former President Sirleaf and the current president, Joseph Yuma Boakai, lifted their two hands in the air. You know what that demonstrates? Love, unity, peace, oneness, patriotism, nationalism, above all. We thank God that we are former and current presidents of our country, Liberia, that is proud on the love of liberty. It was former President Weah that lifted. Boakai did not tell him. Ellen did not tell him. None of them were thinking in that direction. God just put it in President Weah's spirit. And that was, you go back to it, you go back to it. When President Weah did that, see how the wave of love, of cheers and emotions and affections that ran through the crowd. Look how the foreigners, those who came, the guests, look how they were looking. They were ecstatic. Beyond that, when you see that thing as the current president, from that moment, what do? You try to cement relationship with your two predecessors. But from that time till now, Boakai has no time. And I don't think Boakai will ever do it until he leaves the presidency. Too pathetic. So the former president, cup has overfilled. President Weah, former President Weah, have not spoken like that before. He hasn't given a warning. President Weah has always been compassionate, has always chosen his words appropriately to use, to send out. Because you know why? Why he had been careful with his choice of words whenever he's giving a public address, because he knows that he is the most influential, he is the most popular person, he is the most anointed. He commands 80 to 90% of the population in this country. So he's careful. Watch him when he's speaking. So if he just said, we're doing this, forget it. The people ready. So what he was simply saying, that current President Buakai, we've talked, and you're not listening. Other people have talked, you're not listening. Some of our international partners have talked, you're not listening. ECOWAS, whom we are part of, an organization we are part of regionally, they took the time, they came here to help us. You refused to listen to them. You did not even want to see their living bodies. And Liberia is a member of ECOWAS. Moreover, Nigerian president, who is the head of ECOWAS, is your counterpart. That you will show him blatant disrespect by refusing to lay your eyes on their living bodies. And they will leave the country, they will leave Liberia in shame. Since you're not listening, you don't want to listen. You are refusing to listen. Here is it, Bwaka. A hint to a wise is quite sufficient. So the former president was telling him, we're not going to be begging you again. We're not going. When we beg, when we're talking, we're appealing, it's all because we don't want this country to go into something else. But not that you have more power than the people. Therefore, take this as the last warning because the cup is overfilled. Yes. Unity Party people, y'all go back. Y'all get the tape. Y'all listen to it carefully. When a person, most powerful, most influential, the most popular person in the country tells the current president a hint of a wise is quite sufficient, that if you can listen, you will see action will be taken. And Bwaka will have to listen. He will have to listen. If he can listen, his people will make him to listen. Because he's not a president of Unity Party. He's the president of Liberia. Therefore, he must listen to what is being said by the people. That will be doing it for that. Let's take a few comments from you on this one, if you left any. Ansu Kamara said, one love. One love. Okay, that's what Liberia ought to be. Patrick Chia said, so true, brother. Jonan Kopo say, not Jonah. Emmanuel Broad say, criminal President Joseph hasn't realized that presidencies all over the world have huge and heavy weights to be shouldered by leaders. This is one of the reasons why he is playing with LIB. Okay. Who else left a comment on this? We read that. Okay. So let's move to the next pointer, and then you can have your say. Let's move to the next pointer. Amar Konneh. We are at Amar Konneh's office. It looks like Amar Konneh is not comfortable with what is unfolding. Amar Konneh fought hard to bring Unity Party to power. Unity Party was zero on everything election. It was Amar Konneh who came with his expertise and helped Unity Party. Unity Party did not know how they were going into that election. They had nothing whatsoever. It was Amar Konneh that came and set up a war room for them, did everything mathematically, guided them. That is why when it was announced, he started crying and everybody healed him. Beyond that, he started to suggest some of what the government would do or needs to do. No sooner had Amar Konneh reached that point, some Unity Party insiders started having problem with him. They felt that Amar Konneh, Bouaka was going to make Amar Konneh as powerful as he was with Eli. They felt that given what Amar Konneh did, President Bouaka was going to draw Amar Konneh closer to him, though he's at the legislature, but he will be the one whom will consult or will advise Bouaka on a couple of things, given his expertise. So fear gripped some of the Unity Party folks. They start doing a couple of stuff, saying some things about Amar Konneh. You know what happened between he and the other people. Some of them will say, oh, Amar Konneh does not have that. He should not say that. He should not be meddling into executive affairs. He was elected as senator. He should concentrate on Bapolu politics at the legislature. All kinds of things. Some of them say about Konneh. And Konneh being a quiet guy that is not controversial. He's not always in the media. He decided, since he is in a separate place, to be himself. But he hasn't stayed off completely of the politics, executive politics. So what he did, he decided to share his thought on what has been unfolding in the country lately. And he thinks that the current president is not treading the path. What they voted the president on, he's bypassing everything and doing his own thing. So Amara will go public with a short line, but very powerful. Listen to him. He calls it tit-a-toe. Tit-a-toe. All of us know tit-a-toe, right? Coming up. Yeah. So he said tit-a-toe. It's like Supreme Court's decision. Meanwhile, GOL is stuck. GOL, say the government, is stuck. Hospitals, clinics, schools, businesses, families continue to struggle. Did you get him? He said GOL is stuck, meaning in these areas, the government is not paying attention as they ought to. Priority is not being placed into those areas. They're not focusing their lenses on those areas, but they're focusing all of their lenses, time, energy, and resources on one man, moving one man. GOL is stuck. Hospitals, clinics, schools, businesses, and families continue to struggle. His next line, he said, a year ago, this was part of the meaning of the phrase, manage your expectation. A lost year, a lost, L-O-S-T, a lost year. Meaning, 1 year ago, they were preaching all these things. That the health sector is going to be this, and the education sector is going to be this, and our government will do this, will prioritize all kinds of stuff. Amar Konneh say 1 year on, nothing has changed. So 1 year, wasted year. The manage your expectation is a complete irony. He ended by saying a lost year, a lost, L-O-S-T, a lost year. Lost year is the same as wasted years. Wasted years mean all those years, you won't do nothing. All the things that you promised to do, you won't do nothing. You just wasted time, energy, resources on petty things. So all of those things that you said now that led the people to go and vote us as Unity Party. Amar Konneh said the people not seeing anything. 1 whole year, they didn't see nothing. He said hospitals, stock, clinic, stock, schools, stores, businesses, nothing happening. The people just can't. In the morning, they put a business now. When 1 or 2 persons buy, they're happy for that day. They celebrate just the 1 million they have made. Families continue to struggle. A year ago, this was part of the meaning of the phrase, manage your expectation, a lost year. And then they will hang on Amara. But he ain't got time. He's not within it. He's not executive member. He's legislator. So he's uncomfortable. The next right out is what is unfolding. The senator, their own senator, is not comfortable with what he sees happening. The path that Bwaka is taking. He's not pleased at all. He's not happy. He can boast of it because everything is discarded. The mantra in which they came to power, all of those things they promised, nothing. Tomorrow we'll play that tape. But all of us know that Bwaka said he's going to turn the Gabriel Tucker Bridge into 4-lane. Did you know that the people played the stupid out of Joseph Yema Bwaka? At this time, the government has nothing at all. Can make it in time. Then they told him, say you will turn Gabriel Tucker Bridge into a 4-lane. Because former President we had said he will build Bali Island. So Bwaka comes to the people telling him, Mr. President, say you will turn Gabriel Tucker Bridge into 4-lane. Beyond that, the 4-lane will extend all the way going to St. Paul Bridge. What they're doing on the road, they're seeing cut and paste. Few months from now, we'll be back in dry season, in rain season, and that place will be flooded again. So Senator Konneh is saying about all the things that we promised, the Google things that were said, the people were so excited. That is the reason why the people came out in their numbers. And they voted for us. But yet, we have deviated from most of those things that we promised. So what is saying, a whole 1 year at the beginning, I can say everything they were attached to it. Amar Konneh is saying whole 1 year lost. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. In essence, Amar Konneh is saying one significant tangible thing the government and Joe Bwaka can show. And too long a time that you will not show something significant. And you know why we are at 1 year? Let's just consider it 1 year technically. Because December, it's nothing much. That the festive season, you can't do nothing much. Those people at the legislature, they come and go for a break. When they come back, it's January. Executive 2 will be on break. All kinds of things. That's what I think are happening at our house. Y'all leave it as it is. And they say they're stupid. We Isa. Y'all leave it. So the man said, oh, you use 11 months, which constitutes 1 year. Technically 1 year, because December, nothing much. Amar Konneh is simply saying that from January to this time, at least something significant that will convince the people that yes, even though the government said that it's having some lapses, but what we see happening gives us the sign that good things lies ahead of us. But nothing. And this is why I can see why Senator Konneh will refer to it as a lost year. They took up time carrying the president from one place to another, launching everything Bwaka going to launch. He's going to launch 10,000 digital program. which I think that's something I think is in effect. They just want to showcase something over there, carry a few young people, brought a video screen, 10,000 to train 10,000 in digital education technology. Where they got the 10,000 from, or how the recruitment went, or how it's going, nothing you can hear. They just took him from one place to another, carry him to Sonny went to see Pupu Water. From there, they carry him to charging booth. They just, from one end to another, they just feel comfortable showcasing. The president will be launching. The president will be launching this. That's why, according to Konneh, 1 year, they just use all of those trivial things. They use good 1 year technically, or let's just take it as 11 months. On those trivial things, nothing significant, nothing. At this time, CDC reign, there were several achievements. There were several tangibles in the ground already. Constructions. These same people were saying, oh, no investor coming to the country. No investor doing that. Oh, the man is in air. He know how to run the country. The man is unpopular. The only thing he know that football. That's why when he gets out of this country, the only thing they can get him that football. And Jesse. So the people who are well educated and popular now, not a single real significant investor has ever made the attempt to come to this country. 11 months. If in 11 months, investor can come to the country, significant investor, I mean petty thing, and we're talking about investor or anything petty, can happen. Then that future you're waiting for, that better days you're waiting for, when the signs are already clear, because the very president is unknown. The people try to brain him, but he's unbrainable. He's not known around the world. Who wants to do business with a president that is not known? Moreover, who wants to do business with a country that they saw the president falling off on inauguration day? Coupled with several other things that are happening internally. So Konneh look at it, Senator Konneh, say, I'll stay on my side and do my backpolu politics. You go ahead. But we will not stay clear of saying what the wrongs are. So let me just attach his progress he has made. I think he sought some assistance for the people of Backpolu County. He said more support for Backpolu County's health system from a generous donor who acknowledges our dedicated efforts in the Senate. All drugs are approved by the Backpolu County Health Team and sourced directly from the manufacturers in the United States. Up to November 15, the GOL has disbursed only 37K. At least the man able to secure drugs for his county and other things. Okay. So the guys at the National Elections Commission, they won David Eto Brown Lasana out because they are yet to get their arrears. They are yet to get the pay for which they work. They have not gotten, though they were promised. The head of the commission, David Eto Brown Lasana, did not deny their claim. She confirmed. And she said the money was remitted into government's account, the 23 million that left out from the 2023 presidential legislative elections. And they were promised that at the close of the elections, they will pay these people. They work for months. Some of them work in their respective areas. They did not receive pay. They were spoken to, they appealed to them, and then they saw reason to make the sacrifice going forward that at the close of the day, they will get the money. So some of them, the commission was indebted to them, and that debt rose into the 2023 elections. They like say, yes, we get this money for you, we should have pay from this time to this time. But yes, the constraint we are faced with, we beg you, please understand, we're going into this other activity, and we need your service, we need your expertise. So please, and then the person say, okay, yes, we'll move in, but let's enter the agreement and say, yes, besides what we owe you from this month to this month, helping us in the 2023 elections, we have to pay you for it. So some of the people, the National Elections Commission is indebted to them apart from their work in the 2023 elections. So over those months, the people have not taken pay. They've been complaining. On top of it, there is a confusion, misunderstanding, split between David Etta Brown Lasana and her co-commissioners. The last time Tipla Reeves was out explaining a lot more about the misrule, the dictatorship of David Etta Brown Lasana. Till now, the atmosphere is tense. And I can confirm to you that the commissioners, they are not even speaking to each other. So David Etta Brown Lasana and her co-commissioners, Tipla Reeves and her co-commissioner, they are factionalized. The National Elections Commission factionalized. Joe Barker reign. So they staged another protest today. And given the severity of the protest, the police, Unity Party police, Joe Barker police, was constrained to move in to bring the situation under control. And the people are still demanding that they want the pay. And it is unjust. It is injustice. It is inhumane. It is dehumanizing when people labor for you and you know that they labor for you, you can give them their remuneration. That's injustice. That's corruption. It is wrong. So they have resolved that they will not rest until they can get their money. And they are right. That will be doing it for that. Have yourself now on the first lab, these 3 pointers, and then we move to something else on 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777, the women's line 0777 9803 75, and have your say on the show Real Talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 25th day of November 2024. Hello.
Hello, people.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. Thank you very much for your talking point this afternoon. No, if you want to come on, no, that same grand Amar Konneh, you coming out to see the way it's all of you. So let me well, to the Bora. No, I got to do well for the nature. You tell, go 3 a.m., you already to be the next president.
All right, Chief. Sorry, let me hold it. I think there's a problem with 0772 23 99 33. So let's try. Let's use 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Let's move to 0886 30 44 97. 0777, the women's line 9803 75, because you're not coming on the air as you ought to. So let's try. Let's try it. Hello. Hello? You are on the air. You are on the air, Chief.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, listen to your view. I mean, what you say over the radio pertaining to other calling Senator Amar Konneh. Yeah, but Amar Konneh should not quit from the camp because they are the one that brought the calamity on this country. When people who get vision, who get wisdom, was saying it, Amar Konneh and the other folks that today in the ranks of the Unity Party, they were in support of it. So then he should not quit. He should not really contend with Bapuru Kante and development. It should be done overhaul for the Liberian people. Not only Bapuru Kante, because they are the one that brought the trouble on Liberia. Hello.
Okay, Chief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Mr. Andrew.
Your call 0886 3044 97. The women's line 0777 0772 2399. It seems that it has a problem, but it's being looked at. So let's try this side. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. What is your name and where you call from?
My name is Terry. I'm calling from Badnaville.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the show. You know, Amar Konneh is one of the government officials very, following. So last time I've been seeing him, he's a very good pen pusher, I agree. But the honorable man knew very well that Omen Joe wasn't correct, he wasn't fit for the office. Why he was one of those that introduced this old man to the Liberian people. He was one of those that were in the war room during the election time, defending the Unity Party. But I strongly believe that because of his self-interest have not been met with the Unity Party, that's the reason why you see Mr. Konneh keep pushing and try to distance himself from a lot of failure.
Okay, Chief.
Because I can recall during the election, when they won the election, the first day after he bought him, when he went trying to talk about his interest, when he was denied, he said, "You must manage your expectation." And from there, he started speaking. I knew that I brought up into another mess.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yeah. My name is Ishmael Kamara, and I call you from Pinsville.
Yeah. Let's hear you.
So let me appreciate you for the program. You know, I listened to the news, this morning, and I listened to the commentary for Senator Amar Konneh. But interestingly, am I live?
You are on the air, Chief.
Very good, thank you. So interestingly, we at show 2023 were given an assurance that the last government that was in power, which is under former President George Manewuya, were not doing well. And so we were given a guarantee that when the Baka government, shall come to power, they're going to be changed. They're going to be different. Even though we ask some of those questions, what difference you guys are going to come with? And they told us they're going to come with a difference. Now, this difference that they are coming with, that he is making commentary today, telling us that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad because he's not supporting. He's stating exactly. You can support a revolution, and if you see that things are not right as you people promise, you can speak out. That's what he's doing. He's just being self-critical. I don't think it's anything hypocritical. If he wasn't saying anything, if he wasn't condemning or checkmating them, then you will say that.
I like his critical approach. I like the checkmating aspect, right? But let me just say this, Semanju. I want to hear from Amar Konneh. The government is supported. The government, that is the party is supported. That is the ruling government today. at the time we recall, Amar Konneh was the one who was giving an official report instead of the election commission.
Okay,
Each time he
Chief.
gave report, they say that the official report here, and
Okay.
tomorrow we hear that the report. So
Thank
let
you.
me please tell us. Let me please
No,
tell us
we gotta.
why is that?
Let's
Why
bring
is
another
that?
person. You made your point. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
You are on the air.
Yes. I'm DJ Nat calling you from the borough of Recruiter and Sang.
Let's hear you, DJ Nat.
For me, from the beginning, we've been telling these people that Baka will never deliver the country. We thought we tired. They never listen. So I'm not surprised. But I get a small song for we the Grebo people. I want to sing it to Baka support all them. They see what happening to them now. Today, Amar Konneh, they crying, they talking today, they crying today. Today, yesterday, we were telling them they never.
So that Grebo song you sang, Jana, what you mean? What the meaning? Well. Hello.
What happened, sir?
Good afternoon.
This is Edmond. Welcome back, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Let's hear you.
Yeah. President Weah is right because, he is the leader of the biggest political party and we listen to him. Mind you, there have been a whole lot of initiated by tradition to wanting to protest in this country. Okay? But we are being held back only because of peaceful engagement of President Weah. Whenever we want to go ahead, you will say, hey, guy, you're getting change. So he is telling him, yeah, that last warning that he is sending to him, many times will come, the supporter may not be able to listen anymore. Because the power boy, we are the ones that are feeling the pinch of what is going on. Okay? And you see, this is why you also talking about the mind game. You see what the government take at the horse there. Some of the things they were taking off, they were thinking, when we started anything, we were pushing it too much. But we have to tell you, man, my man didn't see it because of this and this and that. But to see how he is holding it, and even telling them that the rule of law may prevail. So I hope what kind of official will take it in good faith and listen. Because he even said, when the people come outside, they will scatter. He said it. I monitor him. So we hope that they will listen. And so Amar Konneh, Amar Konneh supported, during election time, everybody got their side. But the only thing that will happen is he continue to be disingenuous. It is continue to be not sensible to the real issue. So Amara started submitting the government for 82 months, 3 months.
All right, Chief.
So he continued to do so. So with that thing, we should quit.
Hello. 0772 2399 33 0886 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Few calls and then we move to something else. Hello. You going off, Chief? Not from my end. You going off? All right. Thank you ever so much. Hello.
Yeah.
You are on the air, Chief. I mean, when you call, you want play, you playing love of the line. You call, speak.
On the line.
When you hear the person say hello, it means they have okay you on the air. Everybody waiting to hear you. Oh. All right. Yeah, thank you. So let's move now to the next pointer we've got to talk about. And then that's it. We talk what is unfolding in the Methodist Church. But before that, let's move to Capitol Hill politics. Tomorrow, nothing is happening today. The place is quiet. The atmosphere is completely quiet. So at the weekend, the court will issue a stay order on everything there at the House of Representatives. A stay order means stop everything that you're doing. Everything that you're doing, stop it. That's what it means. Then the code say, return to status quo ante. And what that means is previously existing state of affairs, how it was, go back. So as far as I know, literally, but not legally, my understanding of that word or that phrase, status quo ante, and matching it with what the guys did at the Capitol, it means one, the justice minister will have to move to answer some questions. And two, the renegade lawmakers pretending to be majority bloc must go back to the House of Representatives for session, where they often have their session, the main chambers. Three, Speaker Kofa, who is the democratically elected speaker and constitutionally sworn in, must continue to preside over plenary. Four, all the appointments made and reshuffled by the hijackers of the speaker's post are canceled. Five, the deputy chief clerk will have to submit the budget to Speaker Fonati Kofa. And lastly, it means that the Senate is not to discuss the budget with the mutineers, but the normal parliamentary tradition of this House and Senate joint committees. Now, the last one, I can see why Senate Pro Tem Yombli Kanga Lawrence said that they will discuss the budget internally. It will not be a joint discussion, but rather their own budget committee will look at the budget because of not only the confusion, but the tradition requires the speaker presiding. So status quo ante simply means all that they did or there, that Russian thing, you'll go back. Now, the other part of it, the speaker did file a writ of McDermott's. That what the speaker filed, a writ of McDermott's. That led the Supreme Court to say, you stop everything and you go back so that everything can be resolved legally. Because that which is not done legally is not done at all. A writ of McDermott's is simply a judicial writ issue as a command to an inferior court or ordering a person to perform a public or statutory duty. So, say y'all go back. Now the speaker, there's another side to this McDermott's, that they were trading on illegal path. I am understanding that the speaker's legal team today filed another one with the court. Yes, another one with the court, which is on the guy's authority, having it or not to move him. McDermott's will say stay order, go back, and then the constitutionality of the speaker's removal as they did. And they say it was right, democratically and constitutionally. So everything at a standstill. They will now appear before the full bench of the Supreme Court. A drama has just started to unfold. We are getting information that they have resolved to move as usual with session to discuss quote-unquote Liberian people's business, as they usually say, ignoring the Supreme Court. Or they will move to session tomorrow. They will move at the Capitol building, and then they will send their legal team there. Part of the argument why the legal team is moving to hear the legal side of it, it doesn't stop the political side from moving ahead. That they argue, some of them argue, the Supreme Court is a separate and distinct branch as the House of Representatives. You see, mental madness. Therefore, the Supreme Court should stay clear of any interference. Some of them will argue, some of the lawmakers. But you have to understand it from this point, whether it is separate or not. The Supreme Court, you have the judiciary responsible for laws, interpretation of laws. You have the executive, which is the executing arm, and then you have the legislative, which is the enacting arm. All three branches are equal. They coordinate. They are distinct by function. If the argument is the Supreme Court or the judiciary is separate from the legislature, therefore it cannot interfere in what is unfolding, then it means that every other person who is arguing this way do not know the law, or if they ever knew the law, they are justifying the money they have taken from Nebuchadnezzar, and they want to complete the mission at all costs by shortcut. If that branch is responsible for interpreting the law, that right is given unto it exclusively by the Constitution with every power, then it means the judicial, the legislature, the executive fall under it by judicial wisdom. The legislature is not responsible for interpreting the law. It is responsible for enacting. The executive is not responsible for interpreting the law. It is responsible for executing. Therefore, the arm of government that is responsible for interpreting the law cannot be disrespected nor ignored by a branch that is not clothed with that authority. Not to appear before the full bench of the Supreme Court is to tell the rest of the world that truly the government is in disarray. And I don't want to believe that they will stay clear of the Supreme Court, the full bench. The first hearing was before a single judge. This one, it is before the full bench of the Supreme Court, meaning the Chief Justice and all the associate justices will be there to hear both parties' claims. For a segment of the legislature to refuse to go there, everybody would know that truly they took money and they want to fast track their mission. as evident by what they did, made fun out of Richard Kuhn, brought the dullness out of him, told him to stand. How many of you, if you people know parliamentary procedure, you know that when the speaker, when Fonati Kofa was elected democratically and sworn in constitutionally, right after that, what did Fonati Kofa do? There are parliamentary items you have to execute right there. Richard Kuhn did none of those things. After the day that kangaroo thing, that rogue thing, then the shopping in a car, acting like his speaker, with his junk self, he say he's speaker. But that's not the issue. So those guys will be constrained, whether they like it or not, except the Unity Party government and Nebuchadnezzar in Joe Boaka now will tell everybody truly no law in this country. They don't respect the executive. They don't respect the judiciary. Then the executive will not be respected too. Then the legislature will not be respected. Then what is that? Shame. The whole government crumble. Because when these three branches are not coordinating, the government crumbles. The government crumbles when these three. One branch cannot disrespect the other. The Supreme Court, moreover, is the final arbiter interpretatively of the law. That's why the word supreme is used. The word supreme means highest. That is the word the Bible used for God. The supreme God. Beyond God, who you can go to? Beyond the Supreme Court, who do you go to? So I don't want to believe that they will show that recalcitrant behavior, that rebel and renegade and mutiny behavior. They will move. Except they do not have a legitimate claim. If you know that you have a legitimate claim, you're doing nothing sinister. You're doing nothing Zoe Bush. You will go there. If you're doing nothing Zoe Bush, you're doing nothing hidden. If you are within the law, they will be honest to go before the Supreme Court and present their claims. If they can go before the Supreme Court, they move for session. Well, that's it. But nothing going to happen. It will drag on. Today is the 25th. 2 or 3 days from now, we're in December. The legislature has a traditional break. It will be that nothing will happen. It will drag on. Didn't we tell you people that as long as those guys continue to show their stupidity, it will drag on? And it's not affecting Fonati Kofa. It's affecting the very Boaka and his executive. It is affecting the country. Fonati Kofa got nothing to lose. Nothing in this situation Fonati got to lose. The government has so much to lose. Boaka has so much to lose than he thinks Fonati Kofa has. As long as it drags on, the government is starving itself. The government is starving itself in the back. That's why Fonati Kofa is the hero in that situation. The most significant person of all of those players right now is Fonati Kofa. Boaka is infinitesimal. Fonati Kofa is the hero. Everybody on Fonati Kofa's side because of the law. So those guys, when the legislature goes to break in December or goes for break in December, what happened? Everything is at a standstill. The finance minister. What did the finance minister say about the budget and its passage? What he wants the legislature to do. What did he say about this passage of the budget as quickly as possible?
Early passage of the budget translates to effective execution of the budget. When we start to effectively execute the budget, resources will go out sooner.
Did you hear him? Now, listen carefully, listen again. And they say they get sense more than fanatic offer. Listen to the finance minister again. Time is running out. What Minister Gaffan said or saying by this is time is running out. We may think we have legitimate claim, but we're not looking at the consequences that lie ahead of us, which might plunge us into something else as the executive. And it might turn the people against us. Because if the budget isn't passed, nothing going to happen. Nobody going to take pay. Nobody going to do or contribute a dime. Nobody going to do anything. Everything will just come to a complete halt. Listen to him. That's why he made the appeal.
Early patches of the budget, 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 early patches of the budget translates to effective execution of the budget. When we start to effectively execute the budget, resources will go out sooner. It creates a multiple. Resources will go out sooner. 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 It creates a multiplier effect. We have in this budget laid out, the president has authorized a lot of interventions that will affect a lot of people, including civil servants and others.
Yeah, we know that one. But the emphasis is here.
Early patches of the budget translates to effective execution of the budget. When we start to effectively execute the budget, resources will go out sooner. It creates a multiplier effect.
So if this thing drags on, who is at the losing end? The very boycott and the executive. And this thing could cause uprising if nothing is happening. Already, people not taking pay. The festive season is on. It's just few days away. You're not going to get a dime until December. And if it drags beyond December, a dime will not go to you. And if this country was like other country, forget it. You know what I mean? You think that ordinary thing you're looking at, even Unity Party people within Unity Party, they vex. But they seem to come out to voice it. But the murmuring within itself, the president got receiving and anything yet. Fanatic Kofa got absolutely nothing to lose. Fanatic is not saying that he wants to be speaker perpetually. Fanatic Kofa position is let's just do the right thing. If every one of us follow the law of our country, I wash my hand like Pontius Pilate washed his hand and get out. But we will not give into shortcut. That's not how it works. That's not what Unity Party promised. Unity Party did not promise shortcutting of the law. Unity Party did not say we're going to take cutlasses and cut the law, break the law. They said we will uphold. While I was looking for about Bwaka, that rule of law, I finally find it. It will start tomorrow. How he boasted so much about upholding the rule of law that his government would not break it, that nobody, he will make sure that his ministers, all kinds of stuff. That's why when you give in public address, you have to be careful what you say. And you always remember that you give a public address, it's in the public domain. And anytime they can remind you, that's why you have to be very mindful of what you say. So if they didn't go to the court tomorrow, they have their session, nothing will happen over there. Rachel Kuna, speaker. All those guys who went on committees, they drunk. If I were in their position, they appoint me on any committee, I will refuse it. Because nothing there is not legitimate. You can do anything beyond that perimeter. You can. You stay limited. Nowhere you can go with it. Under no condition, you can do anything. They gave you chairman on rules, orders, and what, and you can't do anything. You only excited. The man said he's speaker. He can do anything. Speaker of RLJ. Dull. His colleagues made fun of him. No reason why he took the oath with his left hand. And some of his Unity Party people say he left-handed. If you even left-handed, you still use the right. You know why the people take oath using the right hand? You know what the right for? Symbolically? Authority. Authority. What did God say? He said, I will say, come and sit on my right. Look up, those of you who are Christians. Everywhere you hear God talking about that. Everywhere. He said, right. Left is rejection. He said, I will say, those of you on my left, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, into everlasting hell. So Rachel Kuhn chose hell. Y'all look at all my people, y'all look at in the Bible. He said, I will say to those on my left, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, you breakers of the law, you shortcutters of the law, into everlasting hell, tribulation. And I will say those on my right, welcome, my good and faithful. The right is a symbol for authority. The right is always. That is why when you go to some presidential gathering, look how the seats are arranged. The person, if the president went for a ceremony at the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education will sit on the president's right hand. Why? Because that person has the authority and is covered with the president's authority. It's always the case. The person will not sit on the president's left. The other people will sit from the left going down. But the person who is heading that ministry or that agency sits on the president's right. The right hand, you look it up. The right hand is the symbol of authority. When you raise that right hand, that's why when you're taking the oath of office, the Chief Justice or whoever performing that ceremony will ask you, and I even ask you, they will tell you, you will hear the Chief Justice say, will you raise your right hand? You never ever hear anybody giving the oath say, raise your left hand. They will go with a command, not an option. They gave a command. You will now raise your right hand. And that person raises the right hand. What the meaning of that? The authority is about to be poured on that person. That insignia is about to be poured, that ring of authority. That is the reason why you go with the right hand. The right hand is also God's authority. The left hand is rejection. The man said he Christians. All the people that stood beside him say they are Christians. How dull. They didn't even know the Bible. You allow the man to use his left hand. He too, he said under, he put his left hand dull. And I think Roger Kuhn, he been to occasions, so he been to occasions. He saw how people talk. Oh, he himself even minister the oath of office to some of those gatherings. They invited him as installing officer. And he told them to raise their right hand. But he raised left hand. When you itch for something, when you're rushing, that what can happen. So we wait to see. Some of them said they're not going. They will not honor the Supreme Court request. Let's see. They can never defy the Supreme Court. If they ever did, it will be all right. And we all will enjoy it. because it brings so much, it will bring shame, like what we're going through, disgrace. They will have no face to say anything to anybody from Unity Party perspective as government. So if they go there tomorrow, it will be alright. It will be news for us that your government. So it will be news for, it will be alright for us. We enjoy it. It's dragging on. Fanatikova not giving up. Fanatikova is at the edge of winning the battle. And Fonati will be a hero. When he wins it, then he tells you, now, since you're fighting me, you can take it so you can kill me. Because some of the people over there, they're brave enough to kill Fanatikova. They can do anything. Because you can see desperation in the people for power. You can see strong traditional ego on display. You can see it in those men and women over there. And if Fonati did that, God himself will bless him. He wins the battle through the law. And then he said, okay, you're taking now. I prove a point to you people, and it will never happen again. And let me say to you before we open the line, after this one, nobody will ever attempt, no government will ever attempt to just move a speaker at will. They will not. Because a precedent will have been set. And Fonati is setting that precedent. The other people in the past were not strong enough, for making reference to Snow, Tyler, and the other people. They weren't strong. Fonati is strong. They were pressured, and they gave into pressure. Fonati is not giving into pressure. And that's what a leader is. That is what a leader, that's what they call leader. On the battlefield, even if your men are being killed, if it will mean you the only person, last man standing, don't give up. Leadership is not something small. It's not something petty. Leadership is withstanding the test of time. In the midst of battles from every side, just how Jehoshaphat was. Jehoshaphat faced battles from on 4 different fronts. Left, right, back, front. And Jehoshaphat said, this one, we can't break the law. We will stay, we will resist. Fonati is the strongest man. All these guys are weaklings. Rushing. They get Richard Kunka. Kabuaka. They get in a car. They import REP one on a business lesson play. You speaker. Why didn't put lesson play on it? Why didn't put REP one there? What kind of nasty thing you're doing so? You know the man speaker, the legitimate speaker. Your friends call you after they stole people's names and signatures, rogues. Announce quickly that they reached the 49, they exceeded the 49 because they were afraid that the presence of George Weah in the country, many of those guys were going to defect from them and their number was going to reduce. So they did a rushing, rogue thing. No pride, no respect, no integrity. That's the reason they did that rogue thing. That rushing thing. They knew, they both discussed amongst themselves that let's do this thing as quickly as we can. With the presence of the most popular man, the most influential, the most grounded opposition leader in George Weah in this country, some of these, our guys, will defect. They will go back and our number will reduce and we will not have the strength to do anything. That's why they stole people. And those of you came out when that thing was announced. I hope that you guys not sleeping on it. Just as you guys came up very vocal that those guys stole your signatures, they stole your names. You have to be very vehement. You have to resist them. Except you tell us that what they did was not really wrong. You are only using that as a pretense. But if you truly rescinded by that notarized document, you will continue to insist that they stole your signature, they forged your signature, and you know forging signature under our law, you know, it goes with a very harsh punishment. Lawmakers stealing signatures to make Rachel Kun speaker to satisfy Nebuchadnezzar Bwaka. Stealing, that is a crime. BB people stealing. Stealing is not only when you go, you take money from people unknown to them. Stealing is the most dreadful, diabolical stealing when you can take somebody's name to put it on you to gain what is not deserving of you. It's stealing also because it's from the mind. The mind. Everything starts from the mind. Yeah, it says, though the Supreme Court places a stay order, but they have the political stuff. The guys are not looking. They're not looking at the ramification. It's all because bulk of these guys who over there and women really don't know. They're just there. They're not educated to the level. Because if they were educated to the level, they ought to be parliamentarily. They will not allow themselves to be used as the way they are being used, to and fro. You can be educated, but you may not be educated to a given area and everything surrounding that area. You are literate, you attain education, but it doesn't say that you have parliamentary education. Because bulk of the guys who have given into these things, if they knew the law parliamentarily, then they will be telling their colleagues due process. How can you bring a claim against a person and you don't want to give the person due process and then you lie? You lie just like Satan lies. The only language Satan understands is lie. And anybody who lies and lies a lot is a character, is a relative of the devil. That's why God said in John 8:44, say you are the sons of your father, the devil. And he stated the reason because he knows nothing but lies. Fonati losing nothing. Fonati regretting nothing. I am not with him, but I know you can sense that where we are now, not only is victory setting, but precedent is about to be set that it will not happen in this country again. And the whole world, whenever they are talking about Liberia, they will make reference to Fonati Kofa. That all that the executive did, all that Nebuchadnezzar Joseph Bwaka did to get him out, he never gave in, he never kowtowed in the upper war. But he stood his ground within the law, of the law, by the law, and defeated them. So it won't affect. The finance minister said the early passage of the budget. The budget is not going to pass tomorrow. It's not going to pass day after tomorrow. It's not going to pass on Thursday. It will not be passed on Friday. It will not be passed next week. We're going into December when certain people think that we're going into December. Today is the 25th. You check it. Nothing going to happen. The pro tem said they're not discussing anything with that group budget. They will discuss it amongst themselves. And you need the two houses. You need the two houses. You need a joint resolution or concurrence with the House of Representatives in tatters. One cannot give an approval. That budget cannot be approved single-handedly by the Senate and sent to the executive, and the executive accept and enact it or sign it into law. Again, that's why the country's development partners are looking at what is unfolding. So if the budget is not passed early, then your manager already people complaining in various ministries and agencies now. December around. Traditionally, that's how God said it. Christmas is a big day in this country. It's a big day, even though it's not a Christian country by paper, but it is a Christian country by population. It's a Christian country traditionally. So if they people can get money to buy clothes for their children, they can do nothing, and the children crying and crying and crying, forget it. You will know. And Bwaka is not going to feed it the longer the things draft, because Bwaka can order. Bwaka he over the country's coffers. He and his men there, they have money to sustain them. But you don't have money. You thinking how you will get money. You're thinking business is not going. The season coming. It's at this time that most of the business people are excited because people pour out to buy. But there will be no buying when the purchasing power is not available. Everybody has expectation. Everybody got desire. Everybody wants to get something. But what good is the desire? How effective that going to be when you don't have the money? It can be achieved. The next thing you get vexed, start to curse your own government, says awful things about your own president. Even though you rescue. Amar Konneh said 1 whole year lost. Use 1 whole year against one person called Fonati Kofa. You use 1 year. 1 year, using 1 year to move one man, you can't move him. 1 whole year. Okay. That will be doing it for that. Let me just tie in, I beg you, let me tie in this stuff, this TDJ stuff, and then we get out. We want to thank God. Let me just tie in. So this is how we start.
First at 5:30, however, he is an internationally known preacher based here in Dallas. This morning, during a 9 a.m. Sunday service, Bishop T.D. Jakes of the Potter's House suffered a health incident during a morning prayer. Whole thing caught on camera as that morning service was being streamed around the world. Our Olivia Leach joining us now outside the Potter's House in Dallas with more on the megachurch pastor.
Every Sunday, thousands of parishioners come here to the Potter's House in Dallas for their Sunday service. This is where Bishop T.D. Jakes suffered that medical incident while on stage. Now, the video of the incident is going viral. In the video that's now gone viral, you can see Bishop Jakes finished his Sunday sermon and then got quiet, seemed to shake, the crowd reacting before several people rushed on stage to come to his aid. On the Potter's House Facebook page, parishioners and followers around the world sent prayers for Bishop Jakes' quick recovery. In a statement posted online, the Potter's House said Bishop T.D. Jakes experienced a slight health incident and received immediate medical attention. They thanked the community for the outpouring of love, prayers, and support, and said that Bishop Jakes is stable and under the care of medical professionals. The Potter's House did not share if T.D. Jakes was hospitalized following the incident or what may have led up to the incident.
We thank God that he didn't fall. Had TDJ gone to the ground, then we talking something, or the whole world would be mourning, crying, weeping, groaning. We thank God as Christians. It didn't happen. God keeps watch over his people in times of stress, calamity, every other thing. It was a saying. Every day we wake up, we don't know what's going to happen. We all wake up sound, excited, ready to execute our plans, and just don't know. And I can see why James would say, what is your life that you should boast of it? It is here today, and in a twinkling of an eye, like a vapor, it is gone. But we thank God. We thank God that TDJ didn't fall. Those of you who saw the video after that, actually, he was going. The right hand had those guys not moved swiftly. That right hand, he was going to get paralyzed from that right hand. Because the way the hand was shaking, the voice was cracking, the body was trembling, and he was sitting on a chair with no arm that could, if you losing balance, you will lay on the arm of the chair. He was sitting on something, one of those small chairs, and hovering. So had he gone down, then we're talking different thing, but we thank God Almighty for his protective covering. But we can pick up, we learn lesson from every incident. There is a lesson in every incident to learn. There is a lesson. Every situation that you go through, whichever way it is, whatever the magnitude, you can pick up something from it. And here is what I think I should share with you. And then we'll open the line. We'll take a few calls on Capitol Hill politics. And if you wish to weigh in on this, fine. If not, fine. And let me start with those who are preaching the gospel. Listen. Pastoring or preaching is very, very hard, very difficult. If you would just ask the medical doctor, standing up for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and talking, how much energy that we lose in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. If you would just ask the medical people and they put that before you, you will get scared. Least to talk about standing before people every day or 2-3 times a week. Beyond that, traveling from one end to another. Every day we sit down here from 7 to 10, from 8 in the evening to 10 o'clock in the evening. You know how many hours that check here? 4 hours, 4 hours. And you know how much energy is being put out. You know how stressful is that? How stressing rather is that? Just imagine we're sitting down, we feel it a lot. Then a pastor who is standing up told the congregation, doesn't sit, 365 days a pastor preaching. I heard of a pastor who dropped instantly on the stage. He was preaching. And suddenly, when he opened his eyes, he found himself in a hospital. And he asked what happened. And they told him that you were preaching and you fall off and you almost die. So listen, those of you who are preaching the gospel, be careful with your life. Don't overdo. Preaching is not to prove a point. I'm not saying that what led to T.D. Jakes' situation. I am only picking up or bringing out a wisdom that will help, because God put everybody on this earth to live long, the longest. But what did he say? To do that, you use wisdom. There are certain things you can do, not that it is not within your reach to do, but if you think you can do, not realizing the consequences, then anything happens that it. But you people as pastors, journalists, everybody that in those things that give out so much energy, you put out so much, you want to rest. Give yourself time to rest. You have assistants. At a certain point in time, use your assistant. Don't overuse yourself, pastor. Jesus himself told his disciples, I'll show you it. Go in Mark chapter 6. He said, you've been with me all day. People coming and going. That means you've been working. I see that your physiology is not responding normally. So go and rest. He told them, go. Leave what you're doing. Go and rest. I don't want to overuse you because it's wrong. Pastor, you can preach 365 days. Too many pastors die from that thing. Too many people, journalists too, behind the microphone, moving from one end to another. They fell off. This thing goes for everybody, everywhere. Give yourself time to rest. Eat certain food. Take exercise. Leave certain responsibilities to certain people. And take up time to rest. It will help you a lot. You can preach 365 days, 365 sermons. So you want to be careful. It is not the anointing. The anointing doesn't stop anybody from dying. The anointing doesn't stop you from dying. Those of you who are pastors, drop that illusion. Drop that illusion of, oh, death will not come away. I reject premature death. Drop that thing. It's an illusion. Elisha was highly anointed. What killed Elisha? Illness. Elisha fell sick. And Elisha died. The illness killed Elisha. But the very Bible says he was highly anointed, a great man of God, whom God used mightily. That sickness killed Elisha. Simple sickness, though. That simple sickness killed Elisha. You want to take out time. Sometimes you do a routine check. Because you're putting on you're screaming. Some of you, when you're ready to preach the gospel, as if God get ear problem. You're just screaming and shouting and yelling and not thinking about your physiology. You have no time for that. When you start to feel something and then suddenly you fall off, then they say, oh, that attack. Especially Pentecostal people, everything that attack. So y'all take time, yeah? Y'all take time. You're preaching this gospel, y'all go in there. Epaphroditus in Philippians. The same way, Philippians, he overworked until he almost died. What did Paul say? Yes, the information that you received, that he's sick, he's even sick unto death. You take time. You don't overdo. They're preaching here, they're not overdoing. It's not to prove a point. It's just to send the message across and move. Preaching is conversational. Just like you and I talking right now. You listening, I am talking, and you respond. When 2-3 persons sit in the yard, they're sitting in the office, wherever, they're just having that normal conversation. That's what preaching is. That the typical meaning of preaching. It simply means conversation. You don't have to scream and shout and yell. That's not what bring God down or the spirit down. It's the message that you send across. Just I am sending a message across to you the same way when the pastor stands, he's sending a message across. It's conversational. Our hearts are, and thank God Almighty that he's okay. Okay, so let's move now. I just thought to inject that so that all of us can take cue. So you can have your say now on these two, and then we are out. The news is on at 6 o'clock. Let's have your say. Hello. Hello. Hello, you are on the air, Chief.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for the topic and discussion. Yeah, my concern has to do with the topic where you talk about those lawmakers, the renegade lawmakers that carry on some mischief. My brother, to tell you the truth, it's just a mind game the guys are playing. The guys are only on mind game to see if they can mount a legitimate speaker to pressure to resign because they believe that.
I mean, we far ahead of that word resign. We're not talking about resigning. We're using that word again.
Because they always in the face of saying we did to speak of Tara, we did to speak of Snow, almost speak of Tara.
But Snow and Tyler,
so we can do it again.
Snow and Tyler were not strong. Moreover, the conditions that existed in Snow and Tyler's time, they don't exist today. So when I hear people referencing it, just because history has it at all. That
thank you, because the level of speaker Kofa, Snow wasn't on that level. Speaker Tyler, Snow, Kofa is Speaker Tyler wasn't on Speaker Kofa level.
All right, Chief.
So that's why Jimmy guys and they just said yesterday thing like what will happen today. It will not happen. It will not happen. The only thing we're just looking at them. And then we see this, we have the power. Then we will engage them now by telling them, okay, we employer, we need our jobs. So that's just all. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Let's move to the next side, 0772 2399 33. 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 980375. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Sam Andrew.
Yes.
I'm Peter Derricka, so I call from under the street light in Rod Johnsonville. Thank you very much for the fascinating discussion. And Mr. Sam Andrew is very much laughable that those guys from the unconstitutional group will refer to the Supreme Court interpretation as an interference. Most of these guys, you listen to their analysis and their articulation, you wonder where Liberia is heading. That is the constitutional power of the Supreme Court of Liberia. So are they telling us that they have forgotten about the doctrine of the check and balances that exist among the branches of government? That the executive can check the judiciary and the judiciary can also check that of the legislature? So are they also telling us that they will never summon any of the cabinet ministers when they do wrong within the government, when they call Mo Ali recently? So that's an interference. And these guys need to be serious. They should understand that those that they are presiding over we are educated and well upgraded. What are these guys? So if they come to the public here, they have to come with reality and make that upgraded.
All right.
You cannot come and infuse rubbish in the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Yeah. The guys think they are resolved. They know they're wasting Boaga time. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Sam Andrew?
Yeah. This is Sam Andrews, and this is Real Talk, Kings 88.5. I'm doing good, and you?
Well, praise God. I just want to throw a light on where you really broke down the total thing about the right hand of the law. It's scripturally written. That they are demonic. They're going on, like you said, right? They are very demonic. They just talk about God on the outside. But they don't even fear God. They don't even know God. So they misinterpret how on the ritual Paul go put left hand up. The Bible says the right hand of the Lord do vapidly. Right hand is a symbol of authority, like you really said. the place of highest favor, a symbol of sovereignty. Many scriptures, Isaiah 41, Isaiah 8:13, Psalm 18:35, it's too much. So they don't read Bible. They just go do demonic power, get power in on earth, then they say the seventh God. That's a symbolic and demonic style of his hand.
I mean,
We need to investigate. Yeah.
I mean, you met a go. You talking to the men that are?
Those guys are not godly.
They will evoke the power against you too.
They make law in their personal interest. They are very greedy, selfish, and demonically inclined.
Okay,
so they want to plunge, they want to plunge the country into chaos, but God himself will not allow that. Thank you, Sam Andrews.
Thank you. Have a nice Monday. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon. Your name?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mr. Bo. Mr. Bo, you are on the air.
Yeah, hello?
You are on the air, Mr. Bo. We're waiting to hear you.
That's correct. This thing that going on now, you know, great girl, we are tired. Any people going tired? What are they going there? Going tired? What are they do that? You know what I said that they're going for the new. They are kind of nonsense. Everybody got to what? Everybody people are going on radio. What are they go? And what they do? Huh? What is that? You know, I mean, girl, we are tired. $60 billion, you are doing nonsense. What are they doing nonsense again? Have a good day, man.
Oh, you finished, Mr. Bo? Okay. Mr. Bo, I beg you, don't get very bad. Cool, cool down. Yeah. 077223. Nice. Hello.
Baby, around you.
Yeah, your name and where you call from?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Aliyu Patikoma and Mepikin family. I'm calling from around the generation.
Yeah.
You know, let me say thanks to you for your analysis and letting our whole lot of the national issue around our country. I want to thank Speaker Kofa for going to the court. He people and you, the NSC, the court be offended. When you go to the court, I can celebrate you because as a good citizen, if you see grievances, that is the best place to use. But do not bring color, do not bring left, do not bring going in our country. To see how better to steal our country. So for me, I want to commend. Because to be honest with you, go cover even go to that particular coin winner case. In that particular or you will not win there. And now the difference is because he has lost a political battle. Speaker
Kofa is not saying he wants to be there forever and ever. Amen. The man said the post should only follow the law. When they do what is right in line with the law, he will move.
Now I think the people you will win the legal battle, but the political battle, you have all the logic and you cannot win the political battle. Like the political battle.
What the political battle? What is the political battle?
The political battle is the majority in that particular hall.
The point no majority, man. The point in no majority. What you call majority?
People they are qualified. And the magic, the memory get, and the judge under 27 or 26.
Don't be careful about that thing, yeah? Don't be careful about that thing. Majority, they can't do nothing. Thank you.
But people are saying, no, talking about, you know, the mega get out on parliament.
Thank you, Chief. Hello? Hello.
Yeah, hello. Hello, Mr. Andrew. Hello.
You are on the air now.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you call from?
I call you from Ramos City, Grand Cape, County. My name is Regional Sally.
Let's say you're from Grand Cape, County.
Thank you. You know, I want to say thank you, Mr. Andrew. You see, the Speaker Kofa is putting some sense in our head. Speaker Kofa is putting some sense in their head because they don't have sense. You see, like what happened to the former Speaker Eddie Snow, today representing Senator Amar Konneh. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Speaker Kofa So, Speaker Kofa, I want to
Cool.
appreciate it so much. He's putting some sense in our representatives' head. Because if they had it at them, what they did to the former Speaker Edison and that of Ernest Jenica Taro, they did it because they were not having the knowledge of a law.
Okay,
But
Chief.
the
Thank you.
Speaker person is a lawyer, so he's beating it in their head. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's turn to the texters. Just as the call-outs. Philip Tugwe said CDC is the best. And symphonic, symphonic, fighting. He said, call him Iche Richie. Yeah, man, Iche Richie had to become speaker. If Richie Queen get a speaker thing, that man would die. Yeah, the man too hot. Doll, D-U-L-L, doll. And David Michael said, Speaker JFK. Clady Aresi says, Speaker Kofa just wants to set precedents. Yes, that's it. Symphonic comes back. He said, that's cool, Sam. Please give the biblical reference again. Oh, okay. When I said Elisha died of illness, you find that in 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 13, 14 to 19. Yes, that's where you find it. Go there. You will see. That simple signal killed Elisha, but Elisha was very highly anointed man of God. God used him mightily, but simple illness carried him. So MOG, WOG, you take care of yourselves. There are certain things God don't interfere because he gave wisdom. Otaka Kahu said, I never knew that Rachel Kun was very dull and arrogant. Okay. Yeah, it's very dull and arrogant. Then Thomas Fowler, he had something to say about Thomas Fowler. He said, Thomas Fowler doesn't know the law, so he will be acting stupid tomorrow again. Okay. Hello.
How are you, Chief?
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to say this. I'm on record. First and foremost, I'm Mr. Aaron Mado. And I have said it in past time that you guys were proceeding wrongly, unconstitutional, and it was very comical. And so, for this reason, I, on a paper, stood his ground constitutionally. We assume that if the government take it for joke, this could bring the government to a standstill. And that's what, when you try to emphasize on how this thing will drag on, when the finance minister said that if the budget does not pass soon, it will have some obstacles in the process. That's what we're referring to. And when nothing is going on in the country, everything gets kept in the speculative value. The next thing comes to happen is those things have the propensity to cause societal chaos. And so these are some of the factors we are looking at. So what am I going to recommend now is the government should see all reason to see to it that they go back to status quo, honor the legitimate leadership or fanatic Kofa.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah, you are on the air. Let's hear you. Yeah, let's hear you, Israel.
Andrew, let me tell you something for your topic. For you all Latin people to know what is controlling in our country. I'm so disappointed in our lawmaker, Honorable Richard Fu. He was supposed to sit there and let the police to get in the bigger.
That your lawmaker? You in Richard Kun district? Huh? Chief, you went over. I just want to know what you're in Richicon district. Yeah, okay. You did extremely well. Thank you for spicing it up. That's all the time. Something is okay. Let's just take this one. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
I'm William Chi Akwe calling from Keseli Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Look, to be very frank, I'm very much disappointed in Tomofala. And those who've been there before, they are very dull and stupid. Tomofala been there before. He know the process in removing speaker. Are you telling me the guys can't read? He can't read or because he won't be vice president? That's why he's doing it? I know see any stupid gissman that Tomofala. You tell a paper.
I mean, are your countrymen you talking to? So?
No, them I could me myself from there. But you be silly that you call yourself caucus. You bang the boss. You wear almost 3-4 times. Then what you allow people to mislead you? Then Rachel who is a professional, then you put your level on. But anyway, it's not screen for people like Rachel Kunen because they follow the devil. Like I said, you're going to be the dance with the devil to be president. So
right,
they follow the devil, so they are acting like a devil. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call again from Balanceo. I don't want the people to get angry with Thomas Fala and like other guys who are prayer. You see, Judas was close to Jesus. You read Bible. You are a student. You are a scholar of the scripture. Judas was close to Jesus. He saw Jesus. But you have to become a one-man army in the hand of God to bring that blood to the place where God wanted to be. Some people got to be the Jonah to be cast out into the sea. Come on, Father. Let's forget about that man. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, Chief.
Let the people forget about that man because they don't even reach half of what president we are.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's leave you with the one that just came in that lawyers representing Speaker Fonati Kofa, they have filed a new petition with the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of his so-called removal by the so-called majority bloc lawmakers. The petition was submitted today. It follows previous legal action addressing, according to the information, the failure of the rebel lawmakers to attend legislative sessions, which Kofa claims has hindered the House's ability to function effectively. Okay. So they've asking the court for a review constitutionally of his removal. All right. Okay. Something is trending. It's not looking good. Something is trending. It's not looking good, but we can't say until it is confirmed. All right. Thank you all for the time. That's all the time we've got. We're back tomorrow, if God permits. The news is on in just under 30 minutes. And then at 8 o'clock, Face the Issues with AB. And then tomorrow morning from 7, you have Israel. With Let's Talk About It. My name is Sam Andrews. Shalom.